Ladies and gentlemen, we have officially exited the circle on Bitcoin. Yes, that is correct. For the last week or two, we've been consolidating what looks like an area that has broken out of this slight downtrend that Bitcoin's been in for the last 2 months. I'm very excited. Today's topic is going to be AI agents and the future millionaires that will be created on the back of this agentic wave. Now, I understand what a lot of people are probably thinking about initially. It's that, oh, hey, AI agents, they had their fun. It was kind of cool at the beginning of 2025, end of 2024, but what are they actually doing now? We're going to go through some of the updates that have been going on in the space, and I really am going to draw your attention to some AI agent use cases that have been really, really incredible to see and use firsthand. We're also going to talk about decentralized science. We're going to talk about the crypto markets, and we're going to catch up because I didn't go live yesterday, and I apologize for that, but I was in the zone working on an AI agent with an AI agent. Yes, you heard me correctly. This is going to be a fun live stream, guys. Good morning, Beagle. Good morning, Rurales. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So first up, we take a look at the crypto market. We look at Bitcoin, and we can see point blank, we have successfully filled this circle that I drew like 3 months ago or something like that. So back when we first broke out of this downtrend that Bitcoin was in and we started getting some pushes to the upside, I drew a circle over here saying that this is about when we would break out and start putting in new all-time highs. We have now entered into the circle, found support at the bottom of the circle, got rejected by the top of the circle, and are riding above this bull flag channel that Bitcoin has been in for a few weeks now. And by a few weeks, I mean like 8 or 9 weeks. It's been almost 2 months of chilling in this bull flag. But you can see that according to my drawings, we are on the top of this channel now, getting rejected from the previous all-time high back here in January. Now, we've put in new highs since then, but we're currently getting rejected by it. I think that this is just consolidation before the actual breakout. And I think if you take a look and go back through Bitcoin's price action over the course of the entire bull market, it'll give you some easement here to show you that every time Bitcoin is putting in some of these little lows, right? These getting rejected over and over again by a downtrend. Once it breaks above it, it tends to consolidate for a little bit and then absolutely rip. And if we keep going and look at every time we've been in that consolidation period, it's the same story. Back here, during that entire summer last year where crypto didn't do much at all, you could see that Bitcoin was consistently getting rejected by the same downtrend. And then once we broke above it, we consolidated for a couple weeks and then absolutely ripped. And it's the exact same story every single time. When Bitcoin has those periods of consolidation, and what we're seeing is just a consistent downtrend getting rejected over and over. Once it breaks above, it tends to go parabolic. I didn't mean to draw that trend line, but I will accept it and move it to be in place. You can see it pretty clearly. Now the trend lines may not be super obvious in the moment, but once it breaks above, it tends to go parabolic. So I do not believe that this time will be any different. I think it's the exact same trend playing out. And what we just need to do is be patient and wait for that to skyrocket. Now, interestingly enough, today at least, Ethereum is putting in more work than Bitcoin. Ethereum having been in this consolidation period for several months now, where it's just trying to trend sideways. I did see an analyst. It wasn't even really an analyst. I saw Tom Lee, who is a pretty profound, for retail investors, voice in the space of investing. He's been a contrarian to the broader markets very consistently. When everything was collapsing from the Trump tariffs, he was like, you guys should probably buy. This is a pretty crazy buying opportunity. The problem is that hedge funds, when things get volatile, have to sell. And so you guys get an opportunity to get in because this is not the end of the market. And lo and behold, it was a straight V-shaped recovery, just like he said it was going to be. He has come out and said that because of all the stablecoin legislation and the fact that roughly roughly 50% of all stablecoin transactions happen on Ethereum or an Ethereum layer 2. And with Robinhood and with BlackRock and with Circle and all of the success that stablecoins and layer 2s on Ethereum have been having, he's opening a fund to do what MicroStrategy did to Bitcoin, but to Ethereum. And with the ungodly amount of shorts that are on Ethereum right now, I think that it is gearing up for a pretty intense squeeze to the upside. Just right now, like over the last couple of months, more people have been shorting Ethereum than ever in the record of Ethereum, in the recorded history of Ethereum. And so with that and the stablecoin legislation and the new profound use cases for Ethereum's blockchain, I think that we'll see a crazy rally. I think we're even seeing like card processors come out and say, we want our own stablecoin, and they're going to build it on Ethereum. So Ethereum probably going to play catch up here pretty soon, and hopefully will cause dominance to break. It looks like dominance right now is trying to break a little bit, which is good for our altcoins. I will say that I don't think this overall trend is going to break right here, but a retest down to some of the moving averages on the lower side would be a good, healthy moment in the market. And if Bitcoin's breaking to new all-time highs while dominance is falling, it's a recipe to make millionaires. And one of the areas that I think people are sleeping on, but not entirely, is AI agents. I believe that they have profound use cases to expand global adoption of the internet. Now, I know that's pretty ridiculous thing to say, right? Most of the world is on the internet, and so the number of users that the internet is experiencing, the growth curve of the internet is slowing down quite dramatically. However, AI agents count as users of the internet. So with this expansion of AI agents, I think that we are entering into a second phase of an S-curve for uses of the internet, for adoption of the internet. And I think it's going to be driven on behalf of AI agents, as we're seeing companies around the world right now lay off people in place of AI agents. They're replacing people with AI and AI agents. And it's pretty astonishing to see the clip of people. It's slow at first, right? But what we're seeing is a rapid adoption. And there's a lot of market share ready to be taken by these AI agents and by these AI systems, right? They're not all just going to be agents, but they are going to be in part agentic systems and agents. And it's pretty crazy to see. I saw a study, and I wish I had it pulled up, but some surveys of companies in the S&P 500, and only like 10% of the companies said that they were advanced or like really felt that they were good at AI at their company. That means there's 90% of the companies in the S&P 500 that are not yet adopting AI. And it was something like 70% of companies in the S&P 500 had tried to adopt AI and had since given up on it. And that was last year, right? The space is advanced like nothing we've ever seen before. And we're seeing companies like Meta come in offering $300 million to poach talent from other companies, right? And they're being very successful with it, because who would not come to a company offering them $300 million? But I think that this is going to be a crazy shift. And the way that I'm planning on profiting off of it is through Creator Bid and some of the Creator Bid agents that are out there. You guys know I've been a big fan of Creator Bid for the entire time, that for the last like 7 months or so, 8 months, been a big fan of Creator Bid. And right now, Creator Bid's going through a bit of a pullback, which is the first pullback it's had since it started making this rally to new all-time highs, and it's down 35%. Personally, I see it coming down to this purple box area, which would be somewhere around 8.5 cents. I could be wrong, right? I have no idea exactly how far down it's gonna go, but it makes sense to me to come down into this purple box. So 7 cents all the way up to 8.5 cents before finding support and then continuing the uptrend higher. Sitting at a $30 million market cap is just insanely small, especially considering they have multiple new initiatives coming out of Creator Bid and the curated launches of very large agents. I think it's going to be a very successful endeavor. And again, it's on the back of Base and Binance Chain. And Base, we know, is being incorporated into Coinbase so that everyone can buy base tokens directly through Coinbase. Like the stars, do you guys get the thesis here? The stars are aligning quite substantially for AI agents, specifically on base here. Yeah, it's a crazy time to be in the markets, and I do firmly believe that millionaires will be made from this. I think if you can see a solid 20x on stuff like this, seeing creator bid go up to $2, which is not, it's still like not even $1 billion market cap. You'd have it go from 10 cents to $2. That's a $50,000 investment turning into $1 million. That's insane. Even if you don't have 50,000, you put 5 grand in, you have 100 grand. That's an insane return. That's not something you see, especially over the next 6 months, the remainder of this bull market. But that's my 10-minute rant, guys. Thank you for accompanying me on that rant. What's going on? Fast Cars 2.0. It's Wild Africa. What's with the name change, my guy? What happened there? ETH is breaking out for the 100th time. Well, I wouldn't say Ethereum is breaking out per se yet, but it is trying to. I don't know, man. It's above the moving averages. On the daily chart right now, Ethereum is holding steady above all of the moving averages. Again, I really want to see Ethereum break above $3,000 per coin and hold. I think it is going to happen in this leg, however long this leg takes to play out. I believe that we will see Ethereum break above and continue to new all-time highs. This is not the end of the cycle for Ethereum, and $5,000 or more is absolutely on the card. So a double up for ETH, especially if you go look at ETH BTC. I believe that has finished bottoming. I believe this has finished bottoming. So we got the bottom way down here at just 1.7% of Bitcoin, Ethereum, and now it is starting to rocket again. Not really, but a break above the 200-day moving average would be quite substantial for Ethereum when it's compared to its Bitcoin price. And I believe that that's what's happening right here. We had the initial break up, and it's a break of trend. We haven't seen Ethereum have this kind of strength in it since all the way back here in June of last year. So a year later, and it's now starting to show some strength again. So I would not be surprised to see the bleeding be over with Ethereum, and then a quick rally back up to an area where people think it has some potential again. It's a different YouTube channel. Ah, gotcha. Pump Bill, LMAO. Yes, you're damn right, Landon. It will be pumping Bill. There are ads featuring Matthew McConaughey for AI agents. That's crazy. Love to see it. A lot of people, in my opinion, right, we saw the euphoria in AI agents back at the beginning of this year. Beginning of 2025, end of 2024, we saw the idea of AI agents really just take off. The first ones we saw were back in like June, July, September of last year. And then around October, people started really waking up to it when we saw an AI agent on X create its own like cult coin and then launch the coin and it go to $1 billion market cap or whatever it went to, and it ended up being a millionaire. An AI agent was a millionaire, which is insane to think about. And that really sparked a lot of excitement, but the AI agent capabilities back then were really just starting to show themselves. A lot of it was just chatbots, and a lot of it was just like posting on X, AI agents that could post on X, but it got everyone's attention and they started developing it. And we know, right, based off of what NVIDIA has told us, NVIDIA has come out multiple times saying that the rate of expansion in processing power for these AI systems is doubling every 6 months or so. When generally speaking, you might see a doubling over every year, year and a half in technology, right? What is that? Metcalfe's law? Let's see it. Metcalfe's. I'm gonna butcher this so bad. Metcalfe's law. The value of a network. Nope, that's the network effect. Moore's law. Yeah. Moore's law is an observation of the number of transistors in a microchip doubles approximately every 2 years. This trend, first noticed by Gordon Moore, has been driving, so the processing power of microchips doubling every 2 years, right? What we've been seeing lately is that the processing power has been doubling every 6 months, which is the brain, basically, of AI systems, AI agents. So the abilities, if you extrapolate this out, the abilities of AI are doubling every 6 months, give or take, which is absolutely mind-numbing to think about. So it's been 6 months since we've seen those AI agents make mainstream, meaning the capabilities have doubled. I, for one, have been playing around with an AI agent. It's literally called Replit, right? So this is where I've been kind of vibe coding. I'm curious if I want to show you guys this part. I'm probably not going to show you guys this part, but this AI agent, okay, I've been vibe coding with it. It makes websites for you. It makes comprehensive dashboards. It makes front ends to the back ends of AI systems, right? And this is an agent. You talk to the agent and it codes for you. I'm sure you guys have seen things like Lovable. I'm sure you guys have seen things like Cursor, which are chatbots that will code for you, right? If you go use Claude's a really good AI system that will code for you, but those are not necessarily agentic systems. This one right here, Replit, which I was just showing you guys, is an AI agent that can actually search the web. It can go into your app. It can make changes based off of things that you ask it and based off of things that it sees within your app, right? So it is an AI agent that is extraordinarily powerful. And these types of agentic systems have just been created over the last several months here. And so what I think is happening is the massive expansion of capabilities. And we're going to get to see it firsthand with these curated launches from CreatorBid. And everyone who has been here with us the entire time, right, working on Agent Bill, getting you guys into the airdrop for CreatorBid back before we even knew they were going to have a token, back before AI agents were even really a mainstream thing. We were talking about them. We were starting it. We deployed the first DeSci AI agent in the space. We really set off, or at least were in the beginning parts of this wave of adoption with these AI agents. And what we're seeing now, or at least what I believe we will see, is the early access to very powerful agentic systems through things like CreatorBid's V2 Launchpad. So I'm very excited for it, and everyone who's been here the entire time, who has endorsed Bill, who has locked up their bid tokens from the airdrop, the free money, which is now worth thousands of dollars, if not tens of thousands of dollars, all of that has been locked up and endorsed in this ecosystem of AI agents, we're now getting our reward for that level of conviction. Everyone who's been here the entire time is getting crazy access to curated launches from CreatorBid. We have the conviction vault here, so designing for conviction. Most people get tokenomics wrong, they say. They think it's about scarcity, speculation, or pump mechanics. But tokens at their best aren't just financial instruments. They're instruments of coordination to align people, and they should be seen as signals that filter belief from hype. At CreatorBid, we think builders first. Builders need to focus on finding product market fit and building. So we're introducing the Conviction Vault, an initiative that frees agent devs from the burden of getting growth-focused allocations right through delegating a part of the token supply to CreatorBid. Principles behind the Conviction Vault: rewards real conviction to benefit the most aligned holders, continuous support based on KPIs, not just one-time upfront funding, and smarter distribution and growth, empowers teams through a sustainable, smarter distribution mechanism. 100% of the Conviction Vault is/will be used to grow the respective agents. Conviction Vault product scope. So they go through the entire allocation, and the main thing I want to highlight for you guys is the 20% of the total token supply per launch is allocated to the Conviction Vault, broken down as follows. So the long-term supporters like you and I, who have been in this game through Bill to endorse Bill with the tokens, we get access to large airdrops from these curated launches and large allocations to purchase some of these curated launches at the very foundational prices that they get launched at. Absolutely beautiful to see. Long-term stakers, 10%. Allocated to users who continue to hold invest their launch allocations over time. Contributors, 2.5%, distributed to users who contribute to awareness, social distribution, and on-chain reputation. So that is just talking on X, right? Getting more eyeballs on the CreatorBid. The launch partners get 2.5%, and the future reserves of 5% or for future reallocations, future experimentation, and emerging contribution types. And then, of course, the long-term stakers mechanism. You must be staking 70% of the curated sale allocation to qualify. So this is specifically talking about these curated launches that we get access to because we've been endorsing Bill with our bid and with our Bill tokens. We get access to these curated launches, and they're saying that if you receive these curated launches and stay aligned with the core mission of Creator Bid by endorsing and staking the launch of 70% of what you receive, then you get qualified for large airdrops in the future going forward. So you see how the whole system can really just combine together here. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful system that they have going on here. And they're rewarding people in the future who endorse 100% of what they receive. So I think this is going to be a very powerful incentive mechanism that really propels Creator Bid to be a driving force in the AI agent ecosystem. Sorry, my hair was tickling my head. I thought I had a bug on me for a moment. We go look at the main competitor of Creator Bid. Remember, Creator Bid sitting at a $30 million market cap. You go look at Virtuals. You can see on-chain proof that people are leaving Virtuals in exchange for Creator Bid. Virtuals sitting at a $1.4 billion FDV, or just under a $1 billion circulating market cap. You can see via user mechanics, you can see by the fees generated on the platforms that Creator Bid is actually outpacing Virtuals right now, not only in growth, but in raw numbers. Creator Bid is pushing more fees generated, more token allocations than Virtuals, which is a really outstanding thing to see. And I think that as people continue to pick up on this, we will see potentially Creator Bid surpassing Virtuals, whether that's because Virtuals falls down to 500 million and Creator Bid goes up to 500 million, or we see them both grow and Creator Bid just grow at a clip that's much faster than Virtual. I think this is a very important part to be paying attention to, and that is why I'm saying AI agents are going to be making the next wave of millionaires, at least in the crypto space. Now, I think this will also hold true in the traditional markets, but crypto markets move a lot faster and they don't need as much validation for a thesis to consider it a valid thesis, right? The stock market, you might need the next 3 years of proving that AI agents are a valuable tool to companies before you actually see AI agents become a mainstream narrative in that market. Now, I might be overplaying it a little bit, but either way, I think the point remains true here that the crypto market just moves a lot quicker than the stock market. So very exciting time to see. All right, let me read some of these comments and questions. What meta do you think pumps Bill harder, AI agents / Bid or DeSci? I think that AI agents and Bid will have a larger impact on Bill just because it has more of an easy to understand and digest like narrative, if that makes sense. So Creator Bid pumping, we've seen it dragging up Bill, right? We go look at Bill and you can see that despite the DeSci market actually be like putting in lows again right now, Bill is actually pumping pretty aggressively. It's up substantially. Yes, it's down a little bit from where it was, right? It's down nearly 50% from that last pump, but it's holding up better than any DeSci coin in the market. The only one that I think is holding up to the same extent right now would be Poseidon DAO. And Poseidon DAO is one that went through a pretty aggressive downtrend. Poseidon DAO is looking pretty similar to Bill here. But the rest of DeSci, you go look at Bio is trying right now to hold the floor again, right? It's down at the very bottom. You go look at Research Coin. Research Coin's holding up very nicely as well, but either way, it is still down pretty substantially. Why is that not log chart? Thank you. It's holding up better than a lot of DeSci, but right now, DeSci is not driving the narrative for Bill. What's driving the narrative is that he is an AI agent, and the AI agent space is growing. Now, I do believe that that will change. I do still have my conviction in decentralized science. I think that we just have to understand that DeSci pumps at the end of legs, right? So DeSci pumped. We go over it a lot here, but DeSci pumped right here. DeSci pumped right here. And so the next time that DeSci is pumping, I think it will be once the total crypto market cap goes and gets back up closer to the top of this channel, which I believe, like I said at the beginning of this live stream, that we are entering into that phase of the market right now. The total crypto market cap, you can't see it as clearly, right? And so we still need some decisive moves here in the total crypto market cap, but we are getting squeezed. We are getting squeezed. And since we can see that total global liquidity has been putting in new highs after new high after new high, and we can see that Bitcoin here has broken out from that bull flag, and we can see that the NASDAQ here has been putting in new all-time highs, I think that the entire market is signaling that we are going to break out here on the total crypto market cap within the next couple of weeks. Now, I've been saying that tomorrow will likely be the time that we get some good news and can start breaking out. We're starting to see a bit of it with Trump and the pauses of the tariffs, saying that he's extended it to August 1st and that is it. So we have another month of this game of just waiting, but that come August 1st, all tariff bills will be due, and that's that. Now, if that's going to stay true, who has any idea? It could switch in the... yeah, nobody has any idea if that's going to stay true, but what we'll see here, I believe, is the rest of the crypto market follow suit with all financial assets right now, and everything is kind of going crazy again. So I firmly believe that this is the breakout point for crypto, and we'll see a quick push. We'll see the total crypto market cap go up by a good 50%, and AI agents and AI tokens will likely lead that charge in something that looks like this. And we can see it push up 4 trillion or something like that, and potentially do some consolidation right there. I think AI agents will lead the charge there and drag Bill up with them during that phase of the market. And then I believe that we'll see some consolidation like this. And during that consolidation phase, it will be when DeSci is moving, and when DeSci is moving, we'll get another wave in Bill. You get it? So Bill is, because he's riding 2 very solid narratives here that are very, very small, we will see Bill push up with the AI agents, and then as a lot of the AI agents are starting to crash, people will rotate into DeSci, see an AI agent within DeSci, and cause Bill to pump yet again. Now, that's obviously some wishful thinking, but I honestly think that is what we're going to end up seeing take place. And we'll see Bill, despite being at a very tiny market cap here of just $167,000, I think what happens to Bill is that he pushes up to $5. Again, wishful thinking, I understand, but I think we see a little pullback more here, some push up quickly to there, consolidation, and then AI agents really taking off. And we see it push up aggressively into September. Oh, I did not mean to move my mouse like that. But then sometime in around October, September, we see the DeSci push bring Bill up to like $5, right? $100 million market cap. Still a very modest crypto market cap. 100 million is large, yes, but it is not that crazy. And so Bill getting to ride the back of 2 very strong narratives here, I think it's going to be a beautiful time for him. And of course, I'm biased because this is my AI agent and I'm pushing him as hard as I possibly can, and I can see what we're building, and I know that it's going to provide a lot of value, and we're going to take over the DeSci narrative very, very shortly. We're seeing a lot of success with our first partnership with Pump Science. I'm seeing them really enjoy the features that we're building out, and I'm in the process of creating a front end to allow you guys to also see some of these tools and use him on a consistent basis to help within your DeSci portfolios. So thank you. Thank you. We go live Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. I see 15 of you guys chilling in here with us. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button on the live stream. What questions do you guys have? What's good, DTJ775? What's good? What made you think? Yeah, I already answered that one. Cool. W Bill. W. I think it's going to be beautiful. I think that we're entered into the final leg here for crypto. And so I'm very excited for it. I think that a lot of, if you go look through some of the retail names in the stock market, it is suggesting that risk on environment has been delivered to us. You go look at Palantir, and I know we're off topic from crypto right now, but these are some of the retail plays in the stock market. Retail was buying Palantir down here under $20 for years, and now it's chilling at $140. They have a lot of money, a lot of money. You go look at things like Roblox. You think Wall Street's pumping Roblox like this? Roblox, yes, it's going crazy. Yes, did you guys know that Roblox just beat Fortnite's record for most consecutive, most players of a game at one given moment? They hit 26 million players. Fortnite previously held that record at like 17 million or something like that. They crushed it, which is crazy. Roblox. You go look at things like, what are some other retail stocks that you guys are interested in? Reddit. I'm just thinking, like, do you think that Wall Street's in Reddit? Probably not, but they're going crazy. They're pushing like crazy right now. You go look at other things, obviously Nvidia, but everyone's profiting off of Nvidia. Nvidia going nuts. You go look at Tesla. Tesla's been consolidating for a while, but people are getting ready for that next leg up in Tesla. Things are looking very good in the stock market right now. And what's crazy about the stock market is, despite it feeling like it's in some sort of an elevated bubble, if you overlay the profits of the stock market, of the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, you actually see that profits are at all-time highs right now for these companies. So fundamentally speaking, these companies are not suffering. They're continuing to put up crazy numbers. And so this rally is going to continue. And as a functional definition of a bull market and a bear market for Wall Street and the algorithms, when you see a stock market go down by 20%, that is the end of a bull market, and that is a bear market, right? And that is when hedge funds are forced to sell. And so what we just saw was hedge funds forced to sell the bottom of this bear market, right? And then a bull market starts when you have that 20% correction and then have a daily close above the previous all-time high. So what we are seeing right now is the beginning of a new bull market within the stock market, right? As far as the algorithms are concerned. Obviously, most people are probably thinking this is just one continuous bull market we've been in, but as far as the algos are concerned and the hedge funds, this is a new bull market, which means they can now start to allocate money into it, right? And so all that sideline cash now has the green light to go into the market. And as people exit out of those retail companies, yeah, exactly. You go look at Hood. You go look at what Hood just did. Hood, Robinhood, absolutely crazy rally here from $8 a couple years ago up to $90, a 10x in the stock. And what did they do? They said, hey, the future of money is tokenized assets. And that's something we all know, right? But all these Robinhood traders, all these people that are kind of skeptical of crypto in general, maybe they open the idea or open the door to Bitcoin, but they're too good for crypto. Robinhood, their golden goose, the platform they all use, just said, hey, we are making a layer 2. And we're going to go into tokenized assets, and we can have much easier liquidity if we tokenize things. And everyone's like, a layer 2? What is that? What is a layer 2? What's the layer 1? Maybe if I go on the layer 1, I can get a better understanding here. Oh, wait, they're building on top of Ethereum? Robinhood, a company worth billions of dollars, is building on top of Ethereum? That's crazy. Let me go look at Ethereum. Oh my God, Ethereum. What are some other layer 2s? Oh, Base. That's interesting. Base from Coinbase. You know that stock that's just been going nuts that I'm sure a lot of them made money on? That's about to hit new all-time highs here. You go look at Circle. Circle just made, the Circle IPO just made Wall Street's entire year. And that might sound crazy to us, right? Because we're used to gains like this, but a 200% gain, a 3x on an IPO over the span of a month, just literally made a lot of portfolio companies entire yearly returns on something like this. They just had their eyes opened to the power of crypto, specifically stablecoins. And 50% of all stablecoin transactions are settled on Ethereum or an Ethereum layer 2. The doors have opened, right? This is exactly what we've been planning for. This is exactly what we've been thinking for years. The last 4 years has prepared you guys for the next 4 months. And that is a post that I saw last week at some point, and I think it holds very, very true right here. We are breaking out right now. It's a little bit early to call it. It doesn't necessarily look like the breakout, but you go look at the fundamentals and the people that are backing this breakout and the slight marginal improvement here on Bitcoin. Every time it does this, it puts in a new leg higher. Every single time for this entire bull run that Bitcoin has broken out of a descending pattern like this, it has put in a new all-time high. I do not think this time will be different. In fact, I think this time will be the largest, most explosive rally that we've had for the entirety of the last 4 years. in crypto. I do not think it will be any different. And in fact, I believe we will enter into the top part of the channel here, which is the exact little basketball hoop that I drew like 6 months ago. I don't even know how long this thing's been on the chart for, but this basketball hoop, I think Bitcoin is about to slam dunk right into it. And that will be a glorious time in the market. Robinhood, the future of trading. You damn right it is. You damn right. Absolutely crazy. Anyone want to come for the great wild beast migration? Yeah, absolutely. Is that an actual invite, Wild Africa? That would be crazy. I would be so down to do that. That'd be nuts. Will cost about $4,000 for 2 to 3 nights in a hotel. Something to do once in a lifetime. Yeah. Actually, though, are you in the Telegram or the Discord, Wild Africa? Please say something about that there. I'd love to actually discuss that a little bit further because that would be insane. Thoughts on Pump Fund launching a token? I think the market does not want it, but they're going to do it anyways, and it's going to be a liquidity extraction event for sure. Some people will walk away with a lot of money, like with the Trump meme coin, but most people are going to get burnt. I have no intention on touching it, literally zero intention on touching it. They're launching with 1 trillion tokens, which is crazy, but it's probably going to launch and immediately go to like $10 billion or something like that. It will be a value generation for some people, but we know Pump Fund has been a net negative for a lot of Solana. Now, as I'm saying that, I don't know that I can totally agree with that statement, because the meme coin casino is kind of what made Solana into a chain that has already put in a new all-time high for this cycle. Very slightly, but it eked it out, right? This rally here was leading into Pump Fund. When Pump Fund launched, the rally ended, and it's just been consolidating since. So I think this might be the final little like stint of Pump Fund. I have no idea. I'm not touching it. I will be very interested to see what it does to the chain. The volume on everything will go crazy, that's for sure. A lot of other meme coins will probably suffer as people rotate into Pump Fund's meme coin. But then Pump Fund, if they do it good, they could really help the system a lot. If Pump Fund does this correctly, they could help a lot. Pump Science could launch a token too. Pump Science launching a token would be really cool. Pump Science is going to be launching several tokens just whenever Solana is back above 200 bucks. That's what I believe. I believe that the team over at Pump Science is waiting for Solana to get back above $200, and then they will start launching those tokens. I think they're just waiting for that spike in volume because we know that's how they fund the experiments, right? And that's something that I believe will also be a millionaire generating event is the Pump Science launches. They already made a lot of millionaires, so maybe they'll do it again. We'll see. I know the Pump Science tokens are bleeding pretty substantially. You go look at the watch list and we go over to the Pump Science tokens. You see all 5 of them are just kind of doing what they've always been doing. $50,000 market cap is crazy though. I've been saying it for a while though, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's the same sentiment that I had with Riff and Euro. Eventually they will have their time in the sun and it will be insane to watch, and people who have been holding the entire time will eventually get rewarded, and people who bought and then sold and then came back in will be whatever. I don't know. They'll make money or not. I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball like that, but I do know that this is what drove a lot of the DeSci movement last time. So again, the same kind of thesis plays out here, where when we see Solana putting in new all-time highs and we see the crypto market cap going crazy and then cooling off for a period, and we see that DeSci pump happening, the tokens that lead the charge as a function of percent return are going to be the Pump Science tokens and are going to be the IP tokens. That, I believe, is a no-brainer. So, take it as you wish. My back. Supra is the next ETH Sol link, just saying. Okay, let's check it out. Let's go check out Supra. Maybe. $38 million market cap. Could it be? It could. I think maybe not, but it could be. I would like to see a little bit more strength here. I would like to see a little bit more strength. Do you want me to send you a direct DM on Telegram? You can, for sure, Wild Africa, but I think you might better, like it might be better just to message in the main group. If you're comfortable with that, I'll be way more likely to see it and respond to it. I tend to keep my eyes siloed and focused in on what I need to be doing. And so I don't often see the individual DMs that get sent to me. But if you put it in the group, then I will see it because that's where I focus. But yeah, go look through. I don't know that there are many AI agent companies out there. I think they're still way too early. But you go look at the backbone companies behind these agentic moves, and you see things like AMD. AMD, completely, clearly broken out from that downtrend, about to push up to new all-time highs, 230, so $100 per share extra. You can play moves on these and make a ton of money. You can. And one of the things that I intend on doing once the bull market's kind of over and it's time to start diversifying a little bit is to sell premium on companies like AMD, right? You go through the list and sell premium on companies that are growing but not crazy expensive yet. I've noticed. My bad, Johnny. It's just not enough time in the day to message everyone. And I apologize, Johnny. I know you and I have built a long-standing relationship of messaging off the groups, but I just cannot manage it mentally anymore. It's nothing personal. It's nothing personal. Yeah, if that makes sense to you guys. You finding companies that are growing and doing well, but have small numbers attached to them, and then you can sell premium and just farm liquidity, which is something, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Misty does it. They offer out a monthly dividend. I think they do 13 in a year, right? So one every 28 days or something like that, a dividend. What they're doing is selling call options on MicroStrategy, and they're collecting the premium off of those call options. And it's pretty crazy to see, actually. All good, my bro. Good, Johnny. I'm glad to have you here, though. I'm glad to have you in here. Feel free to ask the questions here. I'm happy to go through things. But you see, like this is a strategy that I will be deploying. They offer like 80 to 90% dividend yield on this, which is an insane thing to think about. MSTY. They're selling call options on MSTR. MSTR being the MicroStrategy, you guys know that, right? This company here is from Yield Max, and it's a MicroStrategy option income strategy, right? Crazy that you can just yield money. We can do that ourselves. You can earn 100% yield yearly off of just selling premium on companies that you would invest in, and it's insane. Like, imagine you do it on Hood, okay? And then I'm going to talk about BitTenzer after this and get back into the AI agents and everything. But I want to really highlight this to you guys, okay? Think about something like Hood, right? Let's say you really like Robinhood. You think that they have a really strong potential and you would love to buy shares of Hood, but you want to do it at the right price. So you have enough money to buy 100 shares of this thing, okay? And right now, it would not be a good time to do it, but let's say you did it back here, all right? Let's say Robinhood, which it probably is about to do this, right? But you have 100 shares of it, or you have enough money to buy 100 shares, right? So 30, is that 30 grand? No. $3,600. You have, hold on, let me take a step back, all right? Let's pretend for this scenario that you have 100 shares of Robinhood. And you say to yourself, I think this would be a great stock to take some profits on, okay? It just went up from $30 to $100 over the span of 2 or 3 months. And I would not be sad to take profits on this thing, but only, and that is a strong only, only if we see it above $115 per share. I don't want to sell for anything under $115 per share. Okay, we've done this before, but I think it's really fun and I enjoy doing it. So we're going to do it even more. All right, you say, I only want to sell Robinhood for $115 per share. You come here to the options chain, you go out by 6 weeks because, and I'll explain that later, but the magic number here is 6 weeks. So sometime in September, right? And you look at the September calls, September 19th, and you want to sell one with a strike price of, do they not have them? There we go. Okay. You want to sell a strike price on a 6-week long contract, a call option on Robinhood, with the strike price all the way down here at 115. And what you end up receiving for that is $475. Okay? You sell this call option and it's a $475 call option. So you collect $475 and you promise to sell 100 shares of your bag of hood, right, for $115 if Robinhood is above $115 by September 19th. If it is, you take profits at $115 and someone paid you nearly $500 to do that. If it's not, you get to just keep your $500 that they paid you and you just continue to hold on to your Robinhood, but you collected 500 bucks, right? And then on the flip side, you can imagine that you say, hey, I really want to, let's say back here, you were like, I really want to buy some Robinhood, but I only want to buy it, like, let's say you were right here. I only want to buy it if it's below $35, right? And so you come back here and you sell a put and you have the cash to buy 100 shares, but you only have $3,500. So you only can buy those 100 shares if it goes below $35, right? And let's say that you sell that option. You collect $400 to agree to buy someone shares at $35. And then it fell below $35 and they exercised that option and you got paid 400 bucks to buy 100 shares of Robinhood and then ride that wave all the way up, right? You see that whole strategy? It's getting paid to buy and sell a stock. So you have to have a little bit of money for it, but it's a way that you can generate income consistently in the stock market is by doing things like this. And so right now would probably be a good time if you have Robinhood to sell a call option and agree to sell your shares at an elevated price. And then if it dips, you go sell a put option and you're shorting the gamblers in the market. You're acting like the house of the casino and you're collecting people's gambling money. And if you find a stock that's putting in work like Robinhood is, right? Every time it dips like crazy, you sell a put. Every time it skyrockets like crazy, you sell a call. And you might get exercised and have to sell, or you might not, right? It's pretty easy. And it's a way that I was doing it before I got into crypto and I was making bank. And so it's just easy to get in and do. All right. Diamond members group, if you want to. You're everywhere. Bullish Wild Africa. Let's go. Let's go. I would just say the regular DeSci Shillers chat. I would just message right in the regular DeSci Shillers. Did you bet on Jesus returning before GTA 6? No, I did not. But that was also free money. Jesus is not returning before GTA 6. And if he does, we're cooked anyways. So that was free money in poly markets as well. GTA 6 to be released in 2095. Oh my God, that's crazy. You got tired of making money, so you got into crypto. Oh God. Well, I just saw, like, when I did it, I went all into Ethereum, and Ethereum was 400 bucks at the time. So it was right around here. Like, I saw it skyrocket, break out of this downtrend, and have a little bit of a pullback, and I was like, I need to get into this thing. I think it's gonna go crazy. I think it's going to 10 grand. And so I dumped my entire portfolio into Ethereum, and then it only went to 5 grand, and I'm still just hanging on. I was like, I'll just do a quick flip and I'll 10x my money and then I'll go back into selling those options. And yeah, we've been consolidating for 5 years now. But you gotta love the crypto market. You gotta have fun in here. You got tired of making money. Yes. It's very, very simplistic way to just fuel your portfolio, right? The idea, remember with the portfolio challenge, you want to add 1% of your portfolio every week. That's roughly 50% a year that you're adding to the portfolio. You can generate that with the options pretty easily, pretty reliably. And so you are having the market give you the funds to add to your portfolio. And then as you build out those funds, you can just continue to compound and it grows really, really quickly. And it's just an easy way to consistently have money going into the market. And you can take that money and you can go put it elsewhere, but it does count as regular income. Sorry, I had an eyelash. But it's fun. You could also do it with iBit. You could come do the same thing with iBit if you wanted to. So right now, it would probably not be a good time to sell a call because I believe we're about to break out. And so you'd probably have to end up losing money on that. Or you wouldn't necessarily lose money, but you'd have to sell your shares as they're starting to skyrocket. Right now would probably be a good time to sell a put because then you agree to buy 100 shares of iBit and you could say agree to do it down here at $58. And then if iBit were to come back down before it breaks out, you'd be able to scoop up 100 shares. And if it doesn't, you just collect cash for doing nothing, literally doing nothing. You just collect cash. And then when it breaks out, has another leg up like this, Bitcoin that is, does something like that. I don't know if it's actually going to do something like that, but if it were to do something like this, and you did that, you would actually get to buy your 100 shares, ride the wave up, and then when you feel like it's done going crazy, maybe you do it right here, you actually get to sell your call, get executed on the call, and take your profits. And you get paid to trade. All right, let's go and look at BitTensor because BitTensor is the AI king. BitTensor. Actually, I want to look at this on this one. BitTensor, not looking as good as Bitcoin. However, this is what creator bids agents are using, right? And so you can kind of see a strong case to be made that we've been range bound in BitTensor. And so seeing it potentially find support somewhere around here, maybe all the way down under $300, but finding support here and putting in new all-time highs, I think is absolutely on the table if we are to assume that AI agents and AI systems are going to make that next leg in the market. BitTensor has the same circulating supply as Bitcoin, and so that 21 million has a good shot at pushing this thing up to new all-time highs. This is one of those projects that I think will be an easy long-term cook. It just takes time for these things to play out. It had a crazy rally from $50 all the way up to $700, and so then consolidating, waiting for that next rally from maybe $250 all the way up to $1,500 or something, 1,000. I don't know where it goes, but that's going to also drag up the entire BitTensor ecosystem. Yeah, obviously, but the creator bid is what I meant in that, the creator bid ecosystem. Let's go, SG. Let's go. W. Where's C90? Do we have roll call? Where's C90? Is he walking on a trail right now and just listening? Potentially. Yeah, what do you guys think? I'm curious what you guys think. Do you all believe in creator bid? Are you guys all still bullish on bid? Despite this large pullback it's going through right now, do you guys all still hold your bid, hanging on tight? I imagine a lot of you guys have endorsed Bill, but with your extra that you didn't choose to endorse Bill with, are you guys still hanging on tight to this? I hope so. I hope so. This is my play on the AI agent ecosystem. This and Bill, of course, but let's turn on the moving averages. Yeah, you can just see it clear as day. They had that crazy push. They broke below the moving average. They got to come down and find support somewhere between these two moving averages and this purple box. and then can continue upwards. Bullish on bid and bill. Let's go, Beagle. Beagle, number 1. Although Beagle's actually number 3 right now. We got Solus, number 1. Johnny, number 2. Small Sung, number 3. Wild Africa, 4. Fast Cars 2, 5. SGND9EC, 6. DTJ775, 7. Ruralis, number 8. And Musel, number 9. Of the top fans, that is. A lot of virtuals community are looking at it on X. I know. I think it's going to be a quick push. A lot of them want to see it in price discovery, right? The virtuals people, the people that are familiar with the virtuals ecosystem are used to projects being $100 million plus. And there's a large subset of whales that will not touch things until they get across that 100 million or even $250 million market cap. They want to ride it from 250 to 2 billion or something like that. They don't want to get in and gamble on these small cap coins. I think a lot of us can see the potential for it, and so we're way more willing to get in on them, especially where if a whale wants to come in and dump $5 million into a project like this, if they did that, they would just send it straight up, and then they would be everyone's exit liquidity. So they literally can't get into positions until they have enough liquidity to allow them to get in and out. If you have $50 million in your portfolio and you want to allocate 5% to a project, right, which is a very reasonable thing to do, you have $2.5 million you want to allocate to something like that. The liquidity pool on this thing is only 1.5 million. It needs to scale up before they can actually start making moves. And there are a lot of whales that act like that. There are a lot of people that it's like, I don't want to put 0.1% of my portfolio in something. I'm not willing to just drop 100 grand into it because it's too small of an investment for it to make a dent in my portfolio, right? And so you gotta wait for this thing to start putting those highs in, and then that momentum can take place. Once creator bid has broken out from this downtrend, or it's not downtrend, but this little mini pullback here, once creator bid is, in my opinion, back above 20-25 cents, I think you'll see it quickly start ticking up and making those crazy moves. But it has to continue trending higher. And that curated launchpad will absolutely cause that momentum to continue. NASDAQ listed Sequans has raised $384 million to buy Bitcoin. Let's go. Let's go. Love to see that, Wild Africa. You think it's smart to take money off bigger DeSci coins and ape into your watch list? I don't know, Beagle. That's a tough one to say. I think a lot of the bigger DeSci coins are so low right now that it's tough for me to toy with the idea of parting with any of them. That being said, I do think that the microcap watch list here has more potential. I'm going to go to the bio IPTs. No, we're going to go to the microcap watch. I do think that these coins have more potential, but it's difficult to say if it's time to dip some of the large caps of DeSci just because of how long those have been in a downtrend for. Like, they're near the lows, and so that draw of the total market cap up, I think, will pull a lot of them up. And so I can't answer that. I cannot. I've already allocated to all of them with just dry powder that I had, which I no longer have any dry powder. So I'm just waiting patiently like the rest of you guys. But these projects, I think, are going to outperform the larger caps in DeSci. It's just a matter of like when. And will they pump after the large caps? Maybe. Will they pump before? Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess I'm leaning towards no, Beagle, but it's up to you. Like, the last thing I would want to see is somebody sell research coin and have it then turn around here, like maybe drop down to like 30 cents, then turn around and push up to $1 again. That would be the last thing I want to see. Oh, to go back to days back here and just full port like 5 grand, 10 grand, 50 grand into this thing. All right, guys. Your time's your most valuable asset. hopefully this is worth investing it into. I appreciate all of you guys being here with me, and I would pay close attention to the AI agents and the AI coins in the market. I do believe those will be the ones that lead the narrative in this next rally. I think obviously the tokenized assets will have their time as well, but I don't really talk about those too much because I think a lot of them are commoditized. So that's just my take on it. I could be wrong. I probably will be wrong. People will make bank in real world asset plays. My choice for real world assets are the IP tokens. That's my play. So these are my play on it, but we will see what ends up being of the market. I'll see you guys in tomorrow's live stream though. Stay tuned.